got here a product that is proudly made in China. States it right on the side of the box. This was sent to me, in a manner of speaking, to do a review on. So that's what I'm going to do. I'd like to say, right off the bat, this is some nice, sturdy aluminum construction. The scale on there is nicely screen printed on there. I can't say that it'll stay there, but the wheel rides inside the track. There's a groove. There's a little bit of a, I don't know if you can see the profile. It rides inside the V here. So the scale should stay on there. It should stay really well. This one is marked for the limiter, so it won't go past that. I think that's pretty cool myself. It's well marked. It's the same on the top here. The top is also marked the same way, screen printed on there. Everything, see the bearings on everything seem to be nice and smooth. I'm actually fairly impressed. The aluminum seems to be nicely anodized. I won't say that purple was my choice of color, but not that I really care. I've never been too much into, you know, I'm not real fussy about colors. Except in my leather work, which we're going to be doing some engraving on leather. The envelopes here are marked as to what step each package goes to. That's why I haven't taken them out of the package. And we got some sample pieces, some thin plywood here, some acrylic, about credit card size, and some small ones here. I think we're going to have a little fun. We'll get to engraving some of those. Like I said, we got a printer cord, the tools, the hex keys. They look like they're chrome plated. They are ball end hex keys. That's kind of nice. The laser itself, this is the laser. It is too small to read again. Wavelength is 455 plus or minus 5 nm, Newton meters. I don't know what that's supposed to be. I'm not a laser guy. Pulse working duration 1 millisecond. Frequency is 1 kilohertz. Maximum laser power is 5 watts. Website's atomstack3d.com, in case you're wondering. For that anyway. I will leave a link to this machine in the Amazon page where I got it from down below. We got 3 feet here. That's because this unit is the 4th foot. This is your power switch, your power input. All that goes through this box. This is your computer, basically. The computer, the control unit. So I put the frame together and I checked it to make sure everything was square. I think square is going to be very important with something like this. And the only way you're going to be able to adjust it, of course, is to file something with these 2 parts that are going this direction. But there's no need. It's square. It's perfect. Checked all 4 corners and you can't beat it. It's perfect. I will say, I did not expect that. Well, I guess at this price point, I did expect that. $400 is kind of a lot of money. I wouldn't be able to afford this if it wasn't for this, the generosity of this review. So, there you go. The Allen wrench fit for the hex key. Excuse me. Allen is a brand. It's not the name of the wrench. It's a hex key. So, the hex key worked out great. And that's the step number 1 complete. On this side, I'll show you right here where you're at. There's a little pointer here and a little pointer here that shows you where you're at on your measurement scale there. Pretty slick. There you go. That made that pretty easy. And then we just have to install the feet which uses the step 2 screws, and it even tells you which hex key to use, the M5, which it's not marked, but that's the M5, I'm sure. Or is it the other one? Might be it's this one. Might be this one. We'll find out. There is this controller and these 3 feet. So I'm going to get those on. Alrighty, we got the feet on. The controller's over here. What can I say? That was actually quite smooth. I have to give it to them. The tolerances on everything, like I said, all the corners and stuff are square. The tolerances, I know I'm a little off here, and I don't know if that's my bench top. I kind of doubt it. I might have to do it. There's a little bit of play in each one of these feet to kind of get a little bit of adjustment. And I can feel that this one's just a tick high. So I might have to do a little bit of adjustment here, but I'm not going to worry about it at this very moment. So we're just a little bit off, but most of the tolerances on everything are really, really close. There's just a little teeny bit of play in each of the bolt holes. Not much at all. Not much at all. And the bolts, the screws and everything fit the holes perfectly. They're not overly long. They're not too short. They fit. They've got enough thread going in there that you know it's going to be a good solid fit. So I really got to give it to them. This is a very well machined piece of equipment here. If I have one criticism, it's that these 2 pieces of the frame should have some kind of marking as to which corners need to go together, because it is specific. They should be marked with an A and an A, B, B, C, C, D, D, as to which goes together. I did have them assembled wrong, and it doesn't tell you which way, either in the directions or they're not marked. They should be marked, because your controller, I had the controller over on the other corner, over in this corner, and it needs to go on this corner so that it reaches all the places it has to plug into. So that is something that is so far the only criticism that I have about this piece of equipment. This laser engraver, I think, is going to be pretty cool. The belt is a pain in the butt to install. There's a belt on each side, but once it's installed, there is no racking here. It's smooth both ways, and I'm pushing it. It's not being driven like it's supposed to be, but once that belt was installed, I don't get any racking, any of that twist that it was getting without the belts. So there's the belt on either side, and that will stop that problem. And then it's got the little decorative cap to cover the end there. Not necessary, but it helps to just, you know, keep it looking pretty. The laser is installed. I can tell right away there are a few little modifications that I make. This whole arrangement that slides the laser up and down, it's just 2 pieces of aluminum that ride up against each other. The anodizing is really nice on here, and I really am not looking forward to screwing with it and making it ugly. But I can feel on the back of this plate, where it rides up against the other one, that I can feel on the back that there's some edges. They were stamped out, it wasn't milled out. They were kind of stamped out, is what it feels like. So if I go along with the file and take out that harsh edge, and maybe you'll be able to hear it, I don't know. I don't have a lapel mic on or anything, mostly because I don't have a lapel, and my camera doesn't use that kind of mic. But it catches and stuff, and you got to be able to hear that. It's kind of like gritty. So I know that just getting rid of those rough edges is going to fix that. It really didn't give you a lot of instruction on how to adjust your eccentrics here for these rollers. And what I did is I just barely loosened it up just the slightest amount, and I took that 10mm wrench and there's a nut on the inside. And the way an eccentric works is it'll have a post and kind of like a washer, but the hole in the washer is off center, so that it can adjust that way, kind of an oblong kind of deal. Chrysler used to use eccentrics on, well, others do, for adjusting the caster and camber and such on their front ends of their cars. But anyway, that's how this is adjusted. So I just loosened it the slightest little bit, just so I could adjust that, move that eccentric. And I moved it just so that I could turn that bottom wheel against the frame, just so that I could get it to rotate just this, with some pressure to it. Not so it was easy to turn, but so that I could turn it if I worked at it. And then I tightened it back down. And that seems to work just fine. Everything moves much smoother now. So hopefully that is going to be okay. Stops are installed, so it goes end to end and stops. And that's exactly what it's supposed to do. This piece right here, like that. I'm just going to kind of let it go somewhat naturally here. So if I have it like that, and tie that there. How's that going to be? Yeah, I think that'll work out just fine. So there you go, there's a little lesson in tying your wires down. Just kind of let them fall natural and then tie them down. That should work out just fine. I will take and, since I've got room to do it, I'm just gonna put a tie right here. I'm just going to cut these ends off. Just like that. And there you go, folks. I don't have any parts left over, so I must have done everything right. The next step is software installation. pretty darn cool. I really had fun with this one. Setting it up was a breeze. Assembly, aside from my little mistake, wasn't a big deal. It was pretty easy to do. You take your time, you follow the instructions, don't over tighten anything, keep in mind it's aluminum, and it really goes pretty smooth. So check it out if you're looking for a laser engraver. It's not a bad deal. I just saw it, looked it up on Amazon, and it's listed at $379, and I think it's worth that. This is the Pro version that uses the Atomstack A5 Pro laser assembly, so it's a little more powerful than the regular one, I guess. I don't know. I don't know much about these things. This is the first one I've had to deal with. So I've had fun with it. Doing some engraving with my business cards and my company logo that I work for. You know, it's been great. So, you know, stay safe. God bless. I'll catch you in the next video, whether you like it or not. If you want to see more reviews like this, hit the subscribe button. Like the video if you like this. If you want to see more of them, drop a comment down below. Let me know. Comments, criticisms, whatever. Just want to say hi. Drop a comment. Alright, y'all. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.